of Education regular action meeting on July 26, 2021. Time is now 6:30 p.m. Can you please have the pledge of allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The New Jersey Open Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or agreed upon. In accordance with the provision of this Act, the Mattawan Aberdeen Regional School District Board of Education advertised this meeting on January 8, 2021 in the Asbury Park Press and the Star Ledger. This notice is sent to the municipal clerks of the Borough of Mattawan and the Township of Aberdeen and the Mattawan Aberdeen Public Library. The notice was also placed on the district's website. In this case, can we have roll call?
Mr. Ahern?
Here.
Dr. Delaney?
Here.
Ms. Friedman?
Here.
Ms. Martinez?
Here.
Mr. Montone?
Here.
Ms. Perswara?
Here.
Ms. Whalen?
Here.
Ms. Osborne?
Here.
Mrs. Fuller?
Here. Can I get a motion and a second to approve board retreat minutes, June 5th, 2021, executive session meeting minutes, June 5th, 2021, committee of the whole meeting minutes, June 14th, 2021, executive session meeting minutes, June 14th, 2021, regular action meeting minutes, June 28th, 2021, and executive session meeting minutes, June 28th, 2021. I'll second. Roll call.
Mr. Ahern?
Abstain.
Dr. Delaney?
Yes.
Ms. Friedman?
Yes.
Ms. Martinez?
Yes.
Mr. Montone?
Yes.
Ms. Perswara?
Yes.
Ms. Whalen?
Yes.
Ms. Osborne?
Yes.
Mrs. Fuller?
Yes. Review of correspondence to the board this month. Superintendent's report.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you. At this time, I would call on Mr. Levy.
Thank you. Good evening. Each year, the district is required to do a self-assessment on our HIV practices and procedures. There are 8 categories that we grade ourselves on. This includes training opportunities, curriculum, investigations, and reporting procedures. Each of our buildings compiles their responses, and we share the information with the Department of Education. The results are then reviewed by the department and shared back with us. We post the data on the district website for the public to see. The 2019-2020 self-assessment data has been shared with the board and is also available for the community to see. The 2019-2020 score for our district is 70 out of 78 total points. So that's important to keep in mind. It's not out of 100, it's out of a total of 78. So if you were to convert that, if you were in school, it would be like 90% or a B+. This score of 70. It's an increase of +1 point from the previous year. With this recent data, we'll focus on investigation procedures and protocols, particularly at the middle school. We'll continue to do refresher trainings for our anti-bullying specialists, for our school counselors. This is for reporting procedures as well. These were 2 areas that were identified in the recent data, and those are categories that we need more growth on, so we will pay more focused attention on the upcoming school year on those 2 categories particularly to see if we can improve those overall scores. So that concludes the report of the self-assessment for 2019-2020.
Thank you, Mr. Levy. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Levy? Thank you.
But just a quick question. Where did you say that the public or parents can find that report?
So it's located on 2 places on our district website. If you go on the district website, right on the homepage on the left-hand side, you can click on, it's called 2019-2020 self-assessment. Or if you go to the personnel page, under the hit section under the personnel website, it's there as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I would call on Ms. Case, who is going to give us a presentation on our capital reserve expenditure that was about to be approved.
Good evening. We will go over the presentation that will also be available on the website tomorrow. We're going to go over the central office building purchase. A little bit about what we'll review is our funding source, a building location, the floor plan, how it impacts preschool expansion, Beaver Park, and then corresponding expenses. As we go through, we're going to talk about the capital reserve funds. We use capital reserve funds every single year. How we establish capital reserve funds is any funds that are not exceeding the budget at the end of the year are used as a savings account and then pushed into that account. And typically we like to have about a 4% reserve. which for us would be about $2.4 million. Currently, we have a little bit over 3.5. And as we go through, we'll see that the purchase and the renovations will be a no tax impact to the community. And how it will be broken down is $1.2 million for the purchase, and estimated revenue or renovation costs will be about 1.5 to bring it to 2.7. The building will be located on Route 34, and tomorrow you'll be able to see a picture of what the building will look like. And what this renovation will include will be 10 offices, 1 conference room, 13 cubicles, a kitchen, bathroom renovations, HVAC upgrades, electrical systems, and anything else that comes up. The reason we have to do this is because we were approved for the preschool expansion aid this year, which increased our state funding about $1.6 million. As we go through over the next 5 years, we will increase enrollment about 500, which will be great because for our state aid, which is for K to 12, that will also increase our enrollment, which we'll see a projection in about 2 years for that increase. This year, as we go into the 21-22 school year, we'll be able to service about 200 students for $2.3 million. The reason we need to move is because the Cambridge Park preschool, the second pod, has about 7 or 8 offices that will then convert to the preschool classroom. And there'll be a little chart there to see as well. The one thing that we will keep for the 2 offices that we will keep in that preschool pod until we figure out a secondary phase 2 measure will be the transportation, since our transportation vehicle is located behind it, as well as operations and maintenance. Our estimated timeline would be, if we accepted tonight, to purchase the building with the closure in about 30 to 60 days. And then we'll look to do the renovations from now until the winter, hopefully moving into the new office in the spring. That will project our fall to winter so that we can project what Cambridge Park renovations will be necessary. And then winter to summer, we'll do the renovations on the secondary pod of Cambridge Park from offices to classrooms so that then we'll be able to open and utilize some more funding for September so we can increase enrollment for the 22-23 school year. Questions?
Am I speaking loud enough?
Thanks.
I just want to make sure that I understand all of the different functions of the accounts. So the capital reserve is an account that we can only use it to build things with. We can't use it to compensate for salaries. Is that, do you understand that?
No for salaries, it has to be for any type of facility usage or brand new purchase.
And so that's why we couldn't just move this to help us offset the increase in healthcare.
Not acceptable for reserve.
And the Cambridge, and I don't know if you know this, I'm sure that you do. Cambridge originally was designed as a school, was a school with classrooms, and then another superintendent, not here, redesigned it.
Yes, and remove back our facility to go back in and turn back into classrooms, which is what the office was.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
This question was originally $1 million. Are the bidders or something like that?
1,000,000, 1.5. The buyer actually purchased the building for close to 1.4, and there were 3 other bidders as well.
What's great about this is we'll give more children in district a chance to participate, and I think it will take care of our youngest learners that will benefit and improve the entire school community. So it's exciting. For the board president's report, just wanted to say I hope everyone's been having a wonderful summer, getting much needed rest, spending time with your family and friends. A couple of updates this month. You'll see in tonight's agenda, we're going to go over the board goals for the upcoming school year. They're listed in there. As mentioned at one of our previous meetings, these were drafted at the board retreat meeting back in early June. And we really feel like these goals are an important step in continuing to move our district forward, meet our district's needs, and help all of our students succeed. The summer programs going on at the schools have been going very well and are going to continue for the next couple of weeks. The county was here today in district and was very impressed by our summer program, so that's exciting to hear. The district and school website pages continue to be updated with important information, so I encourage parents to take a look at it. You can find the school orientation dates and times, back to school nights, dates and times, the calendar for the upcoming school year, and the summer reading and math packets as well. Also, any middle and high school students that want to participate in athletics during fall season, information is also on the high school athletics page. And then lastly, just a reminder, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your child's school and principal. With that, curriculum and instruction. Mr. Wagner?
Good evening. Beginning with Part A, travel, we have one staff member attending the NJSIAA Eligibility Policies and Procedures Workshop, and we have 10 staff members attending the Tools of the Mind training for 2 days this August, and they're being approved for their hourly compensation. This Tools of the Mind training is the required training as part of the preschool curriculum. Moving on to Part B of curriculum instruction, item number 1 is asking the Board of Ed to approve the following goals for the 2021-2022 school year. As indicated, goals 1 through 6 engage in strategic planning renewal process, restructure the board committees in order to streamline committee work and foster better communication among board members, facilitate the exchange of information with the community for the purpose of improving community understanding of district matters, to comply with board training requirements in addition to becoming a certified board, to assess the feasibility of facility improvements while enhancing facilities and operations, and to continue to educate the community on state funding for school districts while partnering with the Florida State Coalition. Item number 2 is asking the board to approve the amended 2021-2022 school district calendar. This change reflects a revision for the preschool conferences. March 2nd and March 3rd will now be early dismissal for those conferences. March 2nd will be afternoon, and March 3rd will be evening conferences. March 9th and 10th will be early dismissal for K-3 students for conferences, and March 9th and 10th will be afternoon conferences. In addition, June 20th, 22 will now be a scheduled holiday for Juneteenth. The last day of school will now be on June 24th, 2022. Item number 3 is asking the board to approve the Mattawan Regional High School Option 2 program plan for the 21-22 school year. This will provide students in the high school who participate in activities aligned to the New Jersey student learning standards to receive credit for those activities. And item number 4 is asking the board to approve the submission and acceptance of grant funds from the Special Olympics New Jersey for Mattawan Avenue Middle School and Mattawan Regional High School for the purpose of developing an esports program open to all students interested in the amount of $115,883.84. And that is all for curriculum and instruction. And one quick update, this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, is the performances of the season.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to accept the agenda? I'll motion. I'll second. Any questions or comments from board members?
Hello. So we're ending June 24th, which I think people probably say, oh, that sounds late. But obviously I know the reasoning behind it, whatever days are built in for the holidays and so on. Was there a decision made about snow days, that we actually have real snow days, or that snow days would be not really snow days anymore, but still virtual learning?
We're going to, I would imagine at this point, we're going to proceed with snow days. Because when the governor spoke last, remote was not an option. So which is similar to what we did this year. We recognized the snow days this year, which we used them actually this year. So, you're welcome. I still think there's something to be said about going sleigh riding as a rite of passage.
So I just wanted to acknowledge the grant for the esports. I love the inclusion. I think it's fabulous. I can't stress enough how kids tend to feel left out. So to be able to expand it to such a variety of kids and open it up everybody on the same level. I love it. Thank you. I appreciate that's this case. Thank you, team.
All right, so everybody did 2 and 4, I'm gonna do 3. So 3 on here has a rationale, and I'm just gonna do a brief overview of that. Okay, John? For number 2. Option 2, because I know a lot of people asked about different things, and it basically states that the high school graduation requirements allows local school districts to design and/or approve educational experiences that serves as an alternative to traditional instruction and provide meaningful learning experiences that support student achievement of the core curriculum context standards. So it's another option for children and ultimate learning, which I'm excited to see how that's going to work out.
So, as part of that program, students could, like as one example, participate in a dance program outside of school. So we have physical education standards that cover a variety of topics in dance, theater, movement. So as part of that, they keep a log, we have assessments, which are primarily performance-based, they keep a portfolio of their work. That goes to a committee at the high school, they review that, and then they earn the credits for that course outside of school.
Nice. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, special services, Ms. Perez?
Good evening, everyone. Under item number 1 for student services, we're asking for board approval for the following students to attend an out-of-district placement for the 21-22 ESY and/or school year. Their effective dates are listed along with tuition costs in the accounts below. Under item number 2, we're asking for board approval for the following student to attend an out-of-district placement for the 21-22 ESY and/or school year. I'd like to mention the rationale is due to the legislative bill, S-3434, allowing students with special needs to attend another year beyond 21 years old. This is taking place for the 2021 school year, 21-22, as well as the 22-23. So each graduating student that is 21 years old, if the IEP team and the parent agree, they are eligible to attend an additional year. Under item number 3, we're asking for board approval for the agreement with the following providers for the 21-22 school year to provide educational services for the students who are blind and/or visually impaired. The cost is listed along with the account number. Under item number 4, it's a revision. We're asking for board approval to approve the following students to attend the out-of-district placement. There was prior approval on June 14th for the first student listed, with the original cost of $85,634.50. The student is no longer attending the ESY, so the adjusted rate to be approved tonight is $72,888.90, and there's a decrease. Under the following student, 158071, again, the approval was originally 6/28/21. For $60,420. The amount was incorrect on the student's contract upon review. We're asking for board approval for the adjusted rate to be approved at $53,000. Under item number 5, we're asking for board approval for the following agreement with the following providers for the 21-22 school year on an as-needed basis. Ms. Megan Mellick, special ed teacher, to provide home instruction for one of our students who are attending an out-of-district placement as needed. And Jean Stamler, LBTC, $400 per educational evaluation pursuant with child study team evaluations and again, as needed. Under item number 6, we're asking for board approval for MedSci instruction for the following students. One student attending New Hope is retroactive from June 2nd, 2021 to October 1st, 2021. And the other student, again, is retroactive at Brookfield School's partial care. That concludes special student services. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
I'll motion. I'll second.
Any questions or comments from board members? Okay, personnel, Mr. Levin.
Thank you, good evening. I want to begin tonight with a walk-in item for action. This is the board packet. So we would like to recommend to the board for new hire Lauren Webster, art teacher at Strathmore, with salary and effective dates listed on the walk-in item. To the regular agenda, call for action, Section A, resignations and retirements for 21-22. Staff members that are listed with their position and effective resignation dates as listed. Item B, leave of absence for 21-22 school year. Staff members listed with their effective positions and listed dates and types of leaves. Under Section C, appointments, number 1, new hires. This is in addition to the walk-in item. New hires for 21-22. 3 staff members that are listed on the bottom of page 1 of 3. This continues on the top of page 2 of 3. Staff members with their respective positions and effective dates listed. Item number 2, extracurricular activities for 21-22. 3 staff members listed, 2 staff members for appointment for athletic activities at the high school, 1 staff member listed for non-athletic activities at the middle school. Item number 3, college student observers, teachers, and interns for 21-22 school year. 4 staff members that are listed with their respective cooperating teachers and locations. On page 3 of 3, item number 4, staff rate changes for 21-22 school year. 1 staff member listed with a rate change, location change, and effective dates. Item number 5, volunteers for 21-22 school year. 3 names listed at the high school with their respective activities and effective dates. Item number 6, additional summer recommendations for summer 21, which is for the 21-22 school year. Names that are listed with their positions, activities, and costs. In this case, I'd just like to make a change to be read into the minutes for Caroline Pruitt. In addition to substitute teacher for ESY, we would also like to recommend her as a regular aide for ESY. Her hours would be daily, and the cost would be per diem. Under Section D, Other, number 1, this is the HIT report as presented to the board at the June 28th meeting. Item number 2 is the HIT self-assessment grade report that I presented at the start of the meeting. Item number 3, we're asking the board to approve job descriptions for the 21-22 school year as listed. All the Title I job descriptions, that's an annual approval by the board. And item number 4, emergency security coverage for 21-22 school year. This is for hallway safety and security monitors. Emergency coverage is needed during the school year. That concludes personnel.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to accept the agenda? I'll second. Any questions or comments? Okay. Policy, Mr. Lehman?
Policy this evening, we'd like to recommend to the board for first reading the following policies and regulations. Policy and Regulation 3142, Policy and Regulation 3221, Policy and Regulation 3222, Policy and Regulation 3223, Policy and Regulation 3224, Policy and Regulation 4146, Policy and Regulation 5460.02. As you can see, most of the policies that are listed are mandated policies. This is for a first reading this evening. That concludes policy.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second? I'll motion. Second. Any questions or comments?
The Bridge Year Pilot Program, that's the one that was recommended for students due to the pandemic.
It was
They say the
it's
extra-
legislation.
So
It's law.
And we have students that are interested in that, or that's something.
As of right now, I believe it's 1, correct? Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Finance, Ms. Case?
Good evening, we'll be taking action on the following items. The first is payroll for June and the bills list for July, including the June supplemental bills list to close out the year, as well as the deposit for the purchase of the new central office building. 2 will be the transfer of funds for April and May. It will just be for the board secretary's report. The treasurer's report will be for next month to follow. Number 3 will be open reporting that corresponds with April and May, just information fund status and the transfer of funds for the month. 4 will be hiring a real estate attorney for the purchase of central office building. 5 will be the withdrawal from capital reserve and no tax impact for purchasing the building and renovations. 6 will be the purchase of the commercial property. 7 will be the renovations. If we don't exceed the amount, the following that is left over will go back to capital reserve for future. 8 will be to convert the administrative offices into preschool classrooms at Cambridge Park Elementary School. 9 will be the allocation and submission of the ESSER grants for the 21-22 school year. 10 will be amending the ESSER grants for the 2021 school year. 11 will be the administration of the non-public utilizing the ESC upon promotion. 12 will be the agreement between the YMCA and Mount Aberdeen Regional Schools for including the Y contract for the preschool program. 13 will be the resolution approving student transportation activities. We'll go out to bid for all the athletic trips. There is a component in there in case anything happens with COVID. 14 will be the revision of not to exceed the replacement of student Chromebooks. The reason we did this is we went back to Dell and we asked them to match the possibility for the work contract for any accidental breakage, and Dell came back and actually went under what Worth came in for the next 5 years. So good things. 15 is approving the NJSIAA membership for the 21-22 school year. 16 is the acceptance of the donation from Strathmore PTO. This will be utilized to purchase a FM system for one of the kindergarten classrooms. 7 will be the routine travel reimbursement for the 21-22 school year. We do have to make one modification for Maggie Lazar for the director of preschool. It won't be $250, it will be $500 to match the other principal's amounts. And 18 will be the fire and evacuation bills for the month of June.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to accept the agenda?
I'll motion. I'll second.
Any questions or comments from board members? Okay. Public comments relating to agenda items and additional matters. The Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on matters of interest to the school community. Individuals wishing to speak must state their name and address. Comments are limited to 3 minutes duration, but an individual may speak a second time after all others who wish to speak on the topic have been heard. All statements should be directed to the board president, and no participant may address or question board members individually. All speakers are requested to express themselves in a civil manner with due respect for the dignity and privacy of others whose legal rights may be affected. Please note, while it is not the board's intention to cycle comment on matters of legitimate concern, the public should be aware that if their statements violate the rights of others under the law of defamation and invasion of privacy, they may face personal liability to the injured party. If speakers are uncertain of the legal ramifications of their comments, the board urges them to seek guidance beforehand from their own legal advisor.
My name is Diana Pell. I live in Aberdeen, and I was just coming up today to mention about that with the uncertainty about, in the media that's growing about what school is going to look like this fall, there's a lot of interest among parents and residents to know more about what's going on here. And unfortunately, I recognize why this is not on Zoom anymore, but if there's a way to make an effort to make these meetings somehow available live, not even necessarily with comments needed. I think a lot of people would be, taxpayers in the district would be very interested in that. Absent that, at least perhaps consider moving the meetings to across all buildings like it used to be, so that residents in other parts of the district can access these a little bit easier. And I wanted to note that this is, in a way, in support of Goal 3 to facilitate the exchange of information with the community to improve the understanding of district matters.
I can tell you that we will be going back to our normally scheduled board meetings in buildings. So and actually we'll be on the road in a different building every meeting now. So because when we move out of Cambridge, normally the first meeting of the month was always at Cambridge, and now we're going to be on the road for all of the meetings. So they'll be rotated again around, barring some unforeseen executive order or something speaking to the other ones.
Thank you very much. We'd also love Zoom and Facebook Live, but I understand.
I only have the answer right now about that, but I will be discussing exactly what you just said with the board.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Ms. Bell. Anyone else? Okay. We'll take a roll call on agenda items for curriculum and instruction, special services, personnel, policy, and finance.
Mr. Ahern?
Yes.
Dr. Delaney?
Yes.
Ms. Friedman?
Yes.
Ms. Martinez?
Yes.
Mr. Montone?
Yes.
Ms. Frizlar?
Yes.
Ms. Whalen?
Yes.
Ms. Osborne?
Yes.
Mrs. Sullivan?
Yes. Any unfinished business? Any new business?
And as some of the practices have started to get underway for sports, you can feel sort of the excitement of the kids being excited again for school, which I don't think any of us have had happen as parents since they started kindergarten, so that's really kind of neat. And I'm excited to see their faces. I think this first day in September is going to be very reminiscent of what they felt like when they first went to kindergarten. So I want to thank everybody in the administration for everything they've done to get us to this point. You guys are fabulous, as well as to the other board members who have been through a lot. And we got through it and we're better for it.
Thank you, Ms. Brown.
Oh, I think I missed my opening. A few, I guess, in the past, maybe 1 year ago or so, we were talking about the strategic planning and starting in September. So I know it was mentioned that maybe it would somehow be like not broadcast, but told to the community through the town instead of just our website. Is that actually happening so that people know if they want to participate in it?
Yes, we're going to be, the first couple weeks of August, we'll be pushing out all that information. So we've started meeting with the town managers, those town managers on a monthly basis. So having that open line communication, so that'll be a part of that process.
I think shared the flyer with both mayors already, so they have the flyer with the dates, how we meet, and that all on instructions.
So the names are involved in the town, making sure people.
We're going to start
Come
putting,
on down and join in on the
yes.
And just a reminder, that date is September 30th. That's the first, yeah. Anyone else? Be it resolved that a closed session be convened for the purpose of discussing privacy, personnel, and legal matters. The subject matter of these discussions will be disclosed to the public when the reason for confidentiality subsides. Although the board cannot guarantee it, the length of the executive session is estimated to be an hour and a half, after which the public meeting of the board shall reconvene and proceed with business. Action will not be taken. Can I get a motion and a second to enter executive session? I'll motion. I'll second. All in favor? Aye.